Hello, everybody. How would you like to be used by God in a monumental way? Sure you would. Amazingly, there's a very simple yet hugely overlooked way that you can do that. So here it is. It's praying publicly, which means praying out loud. For those of you that are comfortable praying publicly, I know what you're thinking. I got this one. Well, I'd still like to challenge you. But first, I'd like to talk to those of you who currently do not pray publicly. Surprisingly, there's many people who are professing Christians for years who are still not comfortable praying publicly. So let me tell you a little about my journey. You see, in my youth, before I became a born-again Christian, I was very lost. I called myself a Christian, but that couldn't be any further from the truth. Thankfully, I had a born-again Christian friends that me and my buddies would come up here to Georgia to visit. We would all go hiking to beautiful scenery, and then we'd go to a restaurant to go eat. But before we would eat, my buddy would always say, "Hey, let me say grace." He would always pray, thanking God for the scenery that we had seen, for our safety, and then for the food that we're about to eat. Well, that little verbal act of him praying was, for me, monumental. It started me on a road towards God by igniting a flame inside of me, making me realize that I needed to honor God and to be thankful for so many things that I had taken for granted. His very simple act of honoring God and praying publicly was, for me, life-changing. 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18 says, "Be joyful always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." Without realizing it, your fear may be robbing you of being used by God in ways you never thought possible. So when those opportunities arise, you need to be bold and seize the moment. Ephesians 5:15 through 17 says, "Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is." There is no doubt that stepping out to be used by God may be uncomfortable. It may mean sacrifice. It might even mean persecution, but it is all so worth it for the reward. So for those of you that have no problem praying out loud, here is my challenge. It may be easy for you to say grace, or to go to prayer meetings, or pray verbally with your friends. But how about praying with complete strangers? Not saying something like, "I'll pray for you," and then pray for them later. It's about praying for them right then and there in the moment. Let me give you some examples from my own experience. There's this one time I was late with my credit card bill, so I call up the credit card company and I get one of the customer service agents. And, they worked on it and they were able to, waive my fees. Well, at the end of the conversation, I said to the man, I said, "Hey, thank you so much for blessing me. How can I pray for you?" And it's amazing how that simple act touched this man's heart. Because he said, "No one's ever asked me that." And that it's kind of heartbreaking that he's never been asked that. But yet, God prompted me to use this opportunity to pray for him. Maybe another example could be praying for a server that you have when you're at a restaurant. Being able to pray publicly may be one of your best witnessing tools. I remember I was at a drive-through at my bank, and you know how you get the little screen, you can see the people now? So anyway, I could tell this guy was frazzled, and he was trying to do 10 things at once, and I could tell he was all stressed out. And so he did my deposit, comes back, and I just said, "Hey, can I just pray for you?" And he was touched amazingly. And he says, "Yes, please do." And I just prayed for him. And after I prayed for him, he thanked me profusely, and he said, "I had you on speaker and everybody inside here heard you." So you never know how God can use you in ways that are just absolutely amazing by such a simple act. Our ministry just got finished doing an outreach to the Appalachian Trail hikers. And amazingly, we would pray for everybody that would come and everybody when they went to leave. And we had several men and women absolutely cry just by us praying with them. It's all because we showed them just a little bit of love that touched their heart. And we also touched them on a spiritual level. You just never know the impact you can have by the seeds that you can plant. Please know this is not about you or I having the right words. It's about what God can do through us just by having a little courage. It's also about not looking like the holiest person in the room. It's about having a heart to love and serve others. 1 Timothy 2:1 says, I urge you then, first of all, that requests, prayers, intercession, and thanksgiving be made for everyone. We all need to be able and willing to pray publicly, making sure to make the most of every opportunity that God sets before us. Love you guys. Take care and God bless.